and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's debate. My name is Rajitha and I'm the chairman and Leo is the timekeeper. The adjudicator is Mr. Morton and the topic for this debate is that banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is the right decision. The affirmative team seated to my right is from Pembroke School. The negative team seated to my left is from Glenunga International High School. The speaking time for this debate is 4 minutes. A single warning bell will sound 1 minute before the speaking time, and a double bell will sound at the speaking time. A continuous bell may be rung 30 seconds after the speaking time, in which case the speaker must sit down immediately. Please ensure that your mobile phones and other electronic devices are switched off. I declare this debate open and call upon the first affirmative speaker, Zana Alfonsinis.
Good evening, Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for this debate is that banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is the right decision, which we, the affirmative team, strongly agree with. We define the banning of smoking in outdoor dining areas to mean that the smoking of cigarettes and other drugs would become illegal in public outdoor areas that are reserved for those who are eating. We define right to mean morally good, justified, or acceptable. This is a word we are emphasising, not good or popular, but the right decision. Today, as first speaker, I will be talking to you about how smoking is socially taboo and unacceptable. I will also be demonstrating the other smoking bans that have been effective. My second speaker, Robin, will be talking to you about the health effects of smoking and secondhand smoke. And my third speaker, Jasmine, will rebut the opposition and sum up our team's case. To begin, smoking is socially taboo and unacceptable. 30 years ago, to have been a smoker would have been a common thing. People would say it with pride to look sophisticated and grown up. Nowadays, people tend to look down upon a smoker, maybe because it's an addiction that can cause health problems to not only the smoker, but to their friends and family, which my second speaker will elaborate on. Maybe because it can cause a stench that can cause one's clothes to reek of smoke afterwards. Or maybe it is because people would rather breathe in fresh air than the smell of smoke. It is unpleasant to be eating outside when there is smoke around the area and can be considered disgusting and disrespectful. Why do people find it unpleasant? Imagine you are sitting down in an outdoor area, enjoying the fresh air and your food, when smoke fills your lungs. This smoke can stain your clothes, ruin the taste of your food, and after a period of time of being around it so much, you can be diagnosed with a long-term disease. Not to mention the effect on the waiting staff who are waiting through that smoke to bring you your food and drink. It is unpleasant and potentially unhealthy when the odour and smoke comes your way. Now to my second point. Already introduced smoking bans and their benefits. In 1999, an indoor dining smoking ban was introduced. Since 2001, the amount of daily smokers has gone down by around 6%. A large proportion of these people quitting due to the loss of space to smoke. A systematic review on the effect of smoke-free workplaces on smoking behaviour published in the British Medical Journal concludes that smoke-free workplaces not only protect non-smokers from the dangers of passive smoking, they also encourage smokers to quit and to reduce consumption. The latest National Drug Strategy Household Survey has found that 82% of people were happy with the indoor smoking ban and wanted it to continue. In 2010, the ACT introduced an outdoor dining smoking ban. This has clearly worked as Victoria are introducing the same ban in 2017. A recent South Australian Health Omnibus survey was conducted to find out the public's opinions on smoking bans, with 57% of people supporting a ban on outdoor dining smoking and 31% supporting any smoke-free areas in general. Simply put, most people would be more comfortable if public dining areas were smoke-free. The reason we eat outdoors is to enjoy the fresh air, so why should we have to put up with the pollution of secondhand smoke? To conclude, I will remind you that ultimately it comes down to not the popular decision nor the so-called good decision, but what is the right decision. We believe that, for the sake of both the smokers and those around them, that banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is the right decision because smoking is socially unacceptable, and there is evidence that other smoking bans have been effective. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Madam Chairman, the topic for our debate is that banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is the right decision. We, the negative team, strongly disagree with this statement. We agree with the definition given by the affirmative team, but we would like to add on to it by referring to the decision as the specific legislation enacted from July 2016 by the South Australian Government to ban smoking in outdoor dining areas. This is the most relevant and topical decision for our debate. The first speaker from the positive team has tried to tell you that smoking is bad. Well, the opposition agrees with us. When people are smoking, it does affect the people around them and make them feel sick and affect their health. However, this does not only occur when people are dining. This occurs every time a person is smoking in public, and this is why we say the right decision would have been to ban smoking in all public areas. She has also tried to tell you that other smoking bans have been effective. This is wrong because banning smoking is not a 50-year program. 15,000 people has already died from it. Moving on to my arguments. This debate is not about whether smoking or passive smoke damages your health. It is not about the effects passive smoking has on your dining experience. The question is whether banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is the right decision. What we need to understand is that the legislation to ban smoking in outdoor dining areas was implemented in the first place because of a problem, smoking, and the effects of passive smoke. The government has had choices on how to address this problem and came up with a decision as defined. However, this is not the right decision because there are many better options and decisions that could have been made. As first speaker tonight, I will show you how the current legislation fails to address the problems of smoking and secondhand smoke. Our second speaker will show you how there are many better options to fix these issues. Today I will be talking to you about 2 points. In my first point, I will be discussing the health and economic consequences of smoking and passive smoking. In my second point, I will be talking about the responsibilities of the government as the decision maker. Now to my first point. Smoking causes disease, cancer, and failure in almost all organs of the body. It also destroys the health of people who are exposed to it. According to the Australian Health Department, each year smoking kills an estimated 15,000 Australians and costs Australia $31.5 billion in social, including health and economic costs. These solid statistics show how serious the impacts of smoking is. Therefore, banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is the wrong decision because more substantial actions could have been taken to eliminate passive smoking. Now to my second point. Banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is the wrong decision because it is a part of a drawn-out plan to slowly address the problem, hoping to get some sort of successful outcome. The government has known how serious the impact of smoking and passive smoking is for more than 30 years, yet an effective solution has not been achieved after all this time. We still have nearly 20% of the population smoking. Banning smoking is not a 50-year program, as according to the Australian Health Department, more than 15,000 Aussies are dying from smoking per year. Smoking is a life-threatening issue. By not taking strong steps now, we're allowing it to continue to harm the health of people. Therefore, banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is too small a step towards eliminating secondhand smoke, and hence not the right decision. The right decision would have been to ban smoking in all public areas. In conclusion, we, the negative team, strongly believe that banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is the wrong decision. Thank you. The second affirmative speaker, Robin Speck.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The opposition's first speaker told you that there are better options towards decreasing smoking, and that therefore banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is the wrong decision. Ladies and gentlemen, for a decision to not be a right decision, by logic it is therefore the wrong decision. Just because the opposition believes it is even possible to eliminate smoking in one swift law, does not mean that banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is a wrong decision. The solution to a problem must consist of small steps that add to one large solution. To add on to this, the opposition also made a quote, "Too small of a step." They stated that to ban smoking in outdoor dining areas is too small of a step. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no such thing as too small of a step. In this case, one small step could equal the lives of thousands of people. Just because it will not fix everything does not mean it will not decrease those people. They are each lives. We need to think of these people as humans and not as numbers. Now to my case. As my first speaker informed you, I'll be talking today about the negative health effects of smoking in outdoor dining areas. Before I begin, I would like to raise a question. Say someone in this room had a device capable of releasing a poisonous gas that killed humans over time. Say the person holding this device didn't stop to think about the other people in the room before activating it. Now, instead of one person at risk, we have an entire room full. Now imagine the poisonous gas is smoke and the device is a cigarette. Secondhand smoking is smoke inhaled involuntarily from tobacco being smoked by others. The US Rights Foundation tells us that 53,800 people die every year from a secondhand smoke exposure. 53,800 people died because other people they don't even know, made the wrong choice. Banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is a step towards decreasing that number. Yes, a small step, but a step. Secondhand smoke can bring on health issues such as asthma, wheezing, and nasal, throat, or sinus irritations. It also increases the risk for chronic and even fatal health conditions that include cardiovascular disease, heart disease, and lung cancer. Reports of the US Surgeon General advise that even low levels of exposure to secondhand smoke can lead to multiple afflictions, in particular in children. These can include wheezing, lower respiratory tract infection, asthma, decreased lung function, and an increased risk of sudden infant death syndrome. Many believe to be outside where there is natural circulation means there is no secondhand smoke. Well, many are wrong. Cancer Research UK tells us that 85% of cigarette smoke is invisible and highly toxic in both an outdoor and indoor setting. Stanford University reports by Dr. Mike Schwartz has evidence to suggest that sitting at a sidewalk cafe or restaurant within 1 meter of a smoker, your exposure to secondhand smoke is almost the same as if you sat for 1 hour inside a pub filled with smokers. Let's look at some numbers. The SA Health branch of the South Australian government tells us that almost 20% of South Australians above the age of 15 smoke. Let's say there are 30 people sitting outside a restaurant. 20% of 30 is 6. If those 6 smokers are evenly distributed among the 30 eating, and there are, say, 2 people sitting within a meter of each of them, that's 12 people who are involuntarily inhaling poisonous gas, and 12 people whose health is being negatively affected against their will. It may not be an easy decision, nor be a perfect suit for everyone, but banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is undeniably the right decision, and undeniably a small step towards a better future. In the words of author Ray Comfort, think of the future. Every puff on a cigarette is another tick closer on the time bomb of terrible consequences. Thank you.
Speaker Sherry Wong.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Madam Chairperson. The topic for our debate today is that banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is the right decision. We, the negative team, strongly believe that this statement is false. Our first speaker has spoke to you all about the economic and health costs of smoking. She has also discussed how this decision is a timely and not an efficient solution. As second speaker today, I will be discussing how the current legislation is not addressing the real problem of smoking and passive smoking. I will also discuss the effects that this ban will have on the hospitality industry. The second affirmative speaker has discussed the health effects of smoking and passive smoke. Ladies and gentlemen, this debate is not about whether smoking or passive smoking damages your health, as we all know and agree it does. The question of this debate is whether banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is the right decision to address this issue. The fact is that the government had many other choices and options to address the problems that our first speaker has spoken about. I will discuss how the decision to ban smoking in outdoor dining areas is ineffective and how to ban them in public areas would be a more effective decision. Therefore, just to ban smoking in outdoor dining areas is the wrong decision. Firstly, let us refer to SA's legislation to ban smoking in outdoor dining areas. This legislation states that a 2-metre wall has to be dividing smoking areas from the outside dining areas. It does not state how wide the wall has to be. People can still be smoking in areas which can carry smoke into the outdoor dining areas. Isn't the whole point of this decision to stop public exposure from passive smoke? A footpath is considered acceptable to divide a smoking and non-smoking outdoor dining area. This offers no protection since smoke can easily travel further than the width of a footpath. It is clear that the decision to ban smoking in outdoor dining areas is not right because it is not addressing the problem of protecting the public from passive smoke. A broader ban on smoking in all public places would be more effective. My second point, why banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is the wrong decision, is because the cost to hospitality businesses will be significant. They will need to make alterations to premises to make sure that this outdoor dining meets the new regulations. This will cost both money and time. Restaurant and Catering SA says that smokers can be drawn away from venues and into hotels where they will be allowed to light up. Sally Neville of this association says that the plan is simply unfair. She says, quote, "This decision clearly advantages businesses only having drinking areas over those that have dining areas as well." This decision not only disadvantages businesses, yet it is also not addressing the problem. There are opportunities for better decisions there. However, the decision chosen is one in turn also providing problems with it. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, it is clearly proven that banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is inefficient, adding financial pressure to the hospitality industry specifically, and fails to meet the duty of care that the state government has to its community. These are all problems that would have not been an issue if the right decision was made and smoking in public was banned completely. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I call upon the third affirmative speaker, Jasmine Bernal.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The opposition says that to introduce a smoking ban in outdoor dining areas is the wrong decision because it will add pressure to the hospitality industry. Ladies and gentlemen, if we do as the opposition suggests and we introduce a ban on all public smoking areas, would there still be the same issue? Opposition has also stated that introducing a ban on outdoor dining areas is too small a step and would not help. My second speaker has already rebutted some of this, but to add on to what she said, I would just like to say that it does not matter if it is not completely effective. Surely it would help to not have people puffing away at their cigarettes while you're trying to eat. If it helps even slightly, it must surely be the right decision. It may be a small step, but no matter what, surely anything is better than nothing. A tiny step could save thousands of lives. We are not saying that we shouldn't also ban smoking everywhere, simply that it could save lives. Besides, one step could lead to many more steps. If people could see that a ban in outdoor dining areas is helping to reduce smoking, then surely later on it would lead to a ban in all public areas. According to the Government Department of Health, more than 70% of people smoking want to quit. If they see that the ban in outdoor dining areas helps, then maybe it will push them to quit. Maybe they will want to stop this horrible habit.
If you tried to ban smoking just like that, you would have a riot on your hands. Think of all of the people that are so addicted. There would be an outrage if you just tried to take away the substance that they are so addicted to straight away. It's better to take small steps, and that could lead to a big change. Ladies and gentlemen, the opposition also said that banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is the wrong decision. Ladies and gentlemen, for a decision to be the right decision, it doesn't have to be the only decision. The first speaker has said that around 15,000 people die every year in Australia due to smoking. Ladies and gentlemen, we agree that that is a lot. Banning smoking in outdoor dining areas will give the smoker a reason to not always smoke and bring extra awareness to the fact that people want these smokers to stop, and why. As my second speaker has stated, it can cause major health problems and people don't want to have that near them. Our team has already brought up some fantastic points to our case. My first speaker has spoken to you about the social side of things and how smoking has become somewhat taboo in this day and age. This is probably because of all of the health issues that smoking can incur, as my second speaker informed you. My first speaker has also brought to your attention that outdoor dining smoking bans have already been introduced as a direct response to people wishing to dine in a smoke-free area. As I said earlier, our second speaker has spoken to you about all of the health issues that are a consequence of smoking, mainly those that can be contacted by second-hand smoking. She has informed you that exposure to second-hand smoking can increase the risk of many health conditions that include asthma, wheezing, nasal, throat and sinus irritation, as well as the more serious cardiovascular disease, heart disease and lung cancer. And this is not even all of them. Ladies and gentlemen, banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is clearly, obviously, beyond a doubt the right thing to do. And after all of this, I cannot imagine you would think otherwise. Thank you.
Speaker Maxine Wright.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for this debate is that banning smoking in outdoor dining areas is the right decision. We, the negative team, believe that this statement is false. Before I rebut the affirmative team's arguments, I will state those that we agree with. We agree that both smoking and passive smoking has major health consequences. That inhaling smoke when you're eating, or even at any time, is not good. And that the public's health needs to be protected. Now I will rebut the opposition's team's arguments. The affirmative team's first and second speaker stated that this choice was the right decision. We dispute this because for this to be the right decision in contrast to a helpful or beneficial decision, it would need to fix the problem or prevent the problem from happening. In this case, the problems associated from smoking, particularly passive smoking. Our second speaker has demonstrated using current legislation that it clearly does not. Smoke is not tangible and cannot be seen. Therefore, to pretend that there are safe boundaries is deceiving and has not achieved the objective of protecting the public's health and safety. The affirmative team's first and second speaker has also based the argument around the fact that there were two choices, which were either to ban or not to ban smoking in a public dining area. They failed to discredit or consider other options in the argument and therefore have not adequately addressed this topic. In fact, they have focused on the bad effects of smoking's health risks, personal comfort and the economical costs. The topic was not, is smoking bad? It was asking if this was the right decision or if this wasn't the right decision. If their information is correct, the only right decision would be to ban smoking in all public dining areas. The affirmative team's first speaker has stated that people are already quitting smoking. We do not agree with this because at the same time that smoking was banned in outdoor dining areas, Jack Snelling, the South Australian Health Minister, was quoted by ABC News in May 2014 saying, "Smoking rates has increased from 16.7% to 19.4% over the past year. This does not show that this strategy is currently working to get people to give up smoking." The affirmative team's second speaker has said that it is better to take small steps to address this problem. We strongly disagree because every little legislative change costs millions of dollars to pass through Parliament. Then you have to advise the public and then you have to put it into practice. This is definitely not cost effective. Meanwhile, there will be more degrading signs put up saying, "Your behaviour is not acceptable in this area." This must make smokers feel absolutely great. And this is while the public is suffering irreversible damage to their health from passive smoking. There are no advantages to addressing such a serious problem over a 50-year period. I will now summarise the negative team's case. Our first speaker has already spoken to you about the significant health and economic costs of smoking and how banning smoking in public dining areas is not a timely or effective solution. Our second speaker clearly demonstrated using current legislation that banning smoking in outdoor dining areas was ineffective and identified the adverse impact this would have on businesses. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, we the negative team strongly disagree that banning smoking in outdoor areas is the right decision. We have clearly proven that passive smoking can only be effectively addressed by making small changes. That to ban it only in specific areas, like outdoor dining areas, fails to protect the community's health and safety and is costly and inefficient. The only right decision would be to ban in public areas completely. Thank you.